Hi, I'm Michelle Fitzgerald with the Sensar Learning Center, and today we're going to talk a little bit about geopathic zones. And I'm going to share with you what those are and some of the wild and weird situations that can come up in this regard, in regard to geopathic energies. So what are geopathic zones? Geopathic zones are areas on the Earth where there are naturally occurring energies, either in the Earth or on top of the Earth. Sometimes there are situations where these are non-beneficial energies. They create a type of strain, sometimes significant strain on biological systems, including humans, plants, some animals. They can also not only be naturally occurring situations like, let's say, an underground water stream, particularly underground water streams that might have some type of negative energy associated with it, where the water is acting like a conduit. Earth fractures, certain types of mineral deposits, other types of situations. There are many that can create these what are considered noxious. I call them noxious zones. The energies are not necessarily harmful to all species, but when I label it a noxious zone, I mean by that it's harmful to humans to spend an extended period of time in the zone. Sometimes the zones are not perfectly natural. Sometimes they're a byproduct of man-made or cosmic energies piggybacking on natural conduits, like the energies of natural conduits, like seismic waves, or like the energy that's created by underground water. So today I'm going to give you a very specific kind of fun example at my own home. I found this this has been a situation over the last couple of months, and I actually discovered the problem, an identical problem, at another property I have across town. But the symptom, I didn't catch on right away that it was geopathic energy. The symptom was that I started feeling like I was being bitten by bugs. And we do have a type of bug here called a no-see-um. And it's called a no-see-um because you never see them, but you end up with these bites and these welts and all this type of thing. Well, I thought I was being bitten by no-see-ums, but it was very odd because the bites were very much and the itching, just intense itching to the point of pain, around my ankles, on my feet, around my abdomen area I would get some, and it's just very distressing. Well, I ended up figuring out that it wasn't bug bites at all. It was a physical reaction of my body to a very particular type of geopathic energy that was coming into both my properties through various conduits. At this particular property that I'm filming at today, which is my personal home, it was coming in on an underground water stream. So I'm going to just show you, what I did and how I treated it, and just how wild and weird and bizarre this stuff can be. So the first thing I had to do when you deal with noxious energy, the first thing you have to do is figure out is what's causing it. How is the energy getting, if it's a energy coming from elsewhere, how is it getting on to your property or into your space? And this was affecting me in my family room, which is exactly right next to where I'm standing right now. This is just a little small section of my yard. I've got a very large yard, wraps all the way around the property. But this is just a very small section that has an entrance to the garage behind the camera. And but the family room is right next to it, and I was having these weird symptoms with this bug biting in my own house. I thought my furniture had gotten infected somehow. I was also suspicious of fleas because I have cats, but I couldn't find any flea residue on the cats. I could not find any evidence of fleas in the house. Yet I was feeling, when I sat in a particular chair in the family room, I was feeling all these bites, like I was bitten by, again, no-see-ums or fleas. So I finally got savvy to it, and I did some dowsing, and I discovered that there was some noxious energy. It was geopathic energy. And I took my dowsing rod, this is just a simple dowsing rod, and I just stood in my family room and I said, show me where the source of the energy is. And it pointed right out here to this area that you see me now. And so I came outside, and I first asked, is the source of the energy or whatever is carrying the energy, or if it's static energy, where is the source? Is it above ground? Is it underground? I got it was underground. And I have lists that I've developed over the years, dowsing charts, and I dowsed what the potentials were. You know, I have all these different things on the list, and I got that it was underground water. And I have known for a very long time that there's an underground water stream in this area, but I took my dowsing rod to see what the current situation was with the water, and I wanted to find where the path of the water is these days, because water can slightly move underground over time. So I just took my dowsing rod like this, and my response, I'm not going to go into a whole dowsing training program right here, but basically my simple program is that I have instructions to my body that when I enter a noxious energy zone, when the tip of my rod enters a noxious energy zone, I want the rod to respond by pointing towards me. If there's a direction of flow, I then want the rod to show me, my body will turn the rod. I want to see what the direction of flow is, if there's a direction of flow of the energy, because that can be important in understanding how to treat the problem. So anyway, I came out here and I just said, you know, show me the source of the problem. And my dowsing rod turned, and it took me, you know, like this, and it pointed to this, like that, which is underground. And again, I already had an idea that I was looking for underground water, so I was kind of cheating, but found, because I had used information dowsing to find that, but I found that basic one point of the underground water stream. So I got back over to the side and I said, show me, the stream, what's happening with the stream, where is the exact location of this underground water stream. So there's the underground water stream, and the direction of flow is this way. And I just start following. I walk very slowly. My rod will move, and it will show me roughly, very roughly, I'm tangled up in my thing here. This is a bar stool just with some of my equipment, but it'll show me very roughly, I can't go too far away from the camera, it'll show me very roughly where the underground water stream is. So you just saw a picture of it. The underground water stream does something like this, and then it kind of shoots off into the distance there. So this is what I was dealing with, and just standing on top of the underground water stream, I could in fact start feeling, number one, my itching increased incredibly. I just started itching on my arms. The itching was going up my body. It was just horrific around my ankles, standing out here on top of the underground water stream. So my next question is, okay, I'm not that concerned about the cause of the problem. I know what's carrying it into the space is the underground water. There's probably some cause further away from the property. You can always douse that. I'll douse that right now for myself. The root cause of this problem, the way the energies are getting on the energy field of the water, is that within 1 mile of my house in linear distance? The answer is no. How far away is it? More than a mile, more than 2 miles, more than 2 miles, less than 3 miles away is the source of this problem. When you're dealing with noxious energies, you can always go to the source of the problem and try to treat it there, or just treat it on the property where the energy comes into the property. Again, sometimes the situation is created right within the property boundaries. It's not something coming in from outside, but in this case it was something coming in from outside, traveling on this underground water. So, and I don't want to go find, I knew already, when I went to treat this that I was in a hurry. I just wanted to treat it on my property. I'm not going to go find the source of it in this case, et cetera, et cetera. But I have done that hundreds of times, where I've gone to the root cause of a problem and fixed it. And that's kind of beneficial. No one really knows it, but it's helping the entire neighborhood. So the next thing is to figure out, what do I have to do? I got to get rid of whatever, or balance or neutralize whatever is going on that's causing this massive itching. What do I do? Well, over the years, I've done hundreds and hundreds of cases of noxious energy abatement, where I've helped balance earth energies, cosmic energies, man-made energies, electromagnetic fields, that type of thing. And so I've developed these lists of, lists of common treatments that work, that one or more of the treatments on my lists that I've developed all these years, decades actually, is probably going to be the fix to the problem, or at least give me a clue to the fix to the problem. Or I have a category that says other, and that means I'm going to have to do more research. So I got out my list and I just doused the list, and right out the gate I got a strong douse on elements. I needed elements, like in the periodic table. So I took my little, I always have a periodic table handy in case elements come up. So this is, I call this my little Senzar Bible. It's very ratty because I use it all the time, but it's got all my little tools and charts in it. And one of the tools is a periodic table. So I just doused the periodic table and I got this element SB. And SB, where are you, SB? Let me just look here and find it. SB. I was very surprised because I didn't know what that was. It's element number 51, SB. And I looked it up. It's actually an element called antimony. So why the initials are SB, I didn't do further research on that. But anyway, antimony is what I needed. And on the periodic table, it's element number 51, and the chemical abbreviation is SB. And then the other thing I needed was gold, which is AU. And then I doused, do I need anything else? And I got, yes, I need the color orange. And let me back up a little bit. At my other property, I needed the color orange. And I thought it was unusual because I was having the exact same symptoms at this property. But at this property, I doused, in the moment, I didn't need the color orange. And I thought that was kind of strange. But I just let it go. I didn't bother about it. And I just took some intuitive guesses. How do I need to apply these elements? Do I need to actually get a physical sample of the element? Very rarely do you need to do that. Typically you can do all of it symbolically by just anchoring the chemical symbols onto some kind of an anchoring object like little stones. So I conveniently have all this little gravel in this area, and I just doused, would it be appropriate and effective to just use these little stones, and I could write the elements on the stones. And I got yes. So I just took a marking pen like this, a felt pen, and I just, you know, wrote SB. That's it. You don't even have to write the atomic number, just SB. And I did about 50 of these little stones, maybe 30, 40, 50, something like that. And I just started sprinkling the stones, I'll do some more, where the underground water path is. And also everywhere around the area, just in case there was another cause, as a double check without doing any further dousing, where I was feeling the strongest energy inside. But it was that simple, just writing SB, and then I did a whole bunch of stones that were had the letters AU on them for gold. And I just sprinkled these stones like this. And as I did each one, I actually was feeling a reduction in this severe itching. So here I am talking to you today, and I will tell you I'm feeling no itching as I stand here. This was an effective cure to the problem. How do you know you've got it right? Your symptoms go away. That's how you know you got it right when you're doing noxious energy work or working with geopathic zones, man-made energies, the whole lot. Now, I did think it was very curious. Remember I said about the orange, because my other property had the exact same problem. I treated it with antimony and with gold and with orange. I put little dots of orange on rocks, and I scattered them the entire front perimeter of the property, and that solved the problem. I had several underground water sources coming in. Underground water is very often associated with geopathic zones. It's an incredible conduit, and it can carry all kinds of stuff into the space, through the space, etc. Even just dowsers have known for a very long time, and lots of researchers have known that investigate geopathic zones, that just underground water, whether there's a big negative charge on it or not, is not beneficial for your health. So it's very beneficial to learn how to douse for underground water. If your bed happens to be above an underground water stream, it would be highly beneficial for you to move the bed and not be sleeping above underground water. It's always been my belief that the water itself is probably not the problem, but the fact that it is so conductive and it can carry stuff continually or intermittently that's highly toxic to you on an energetic level and ultimately a physical level through your space, and your energy will interact with it, your body will interact with it. But I thought it was so curious about the orange, because orange was such an important component, and my assumption was that this energy here at my own house, that there was just some kind of difference in the noxious source that was bringing the energy in, even though the symptom was identical. I thought maybe there was a difference in the source somehow. So today I go and I set up my camera to do this film. I'm going to show you this book in a minute because this is important too. And I think, oh, I've got to show them about this orange, even though, orange, because I want to tell them about the other property. And I took behind me, right behind the camera, is a wall full of marigolds, potted marigolds. And I said, well, I want to make it easy. I don't want to have to turn around the camera. So I'll take the marigolds and I'll put them along here. And then I can show them the orange and tell them about the orange at the other property. As soon as I started removing pots from that wall, I started itching. And each pot that I removed, this just happened today, I was itching more and more and more, like I was being bitten by bugs again. And I had an aha moment. I said, of course. And I checked with my dowsing rod. The underground stream, as it comes into the property, is running right through that area, right under that area where I've got these potted orange flowers. And so part of the treatment was already in place, and I never connected the dots that I did have an orange application here. For some reason in my mind, I just thought it would have to be all over, but of course it doesn't have to be all over. It only has to be, at the very least, it has to be at the entry point of the stream. I could probably do that now. I already have done all the S, B, and AU rocks. Easier solution, now that I think about it, would have been just to do a lineup of those elements right up against that wall, because that clearly is the entry point of the underground water stream. So anyway, you learn all these things as you go. But that's an example of a wild and weird geopathic situation, and it can lead to symptoms that you would swear are physical symptoms, but that you can eliminate within sometimes seconds, sometimes minutes, sometimes it takes a little bit longer depending on how you've been affected, but you can eliminate very physical symptoms. The symptoms of being in a geopathic zone can be, things like foggy brain, significant fatigue. I'm going to do another video in a short bit and show you another noxious energy spot that I found just today, that as soon as I walked into it, within 30 to 60 seconds of being in the zone, I had just excruciating fatigue. So fatigue can be a symptom, body aches, pains in different parts of your body, memory problems. The list is just incredible. If you want to go onto my website at sedonaportal.com, and again, the website address is right on the screen here. If you go to my bio page, it says about your instructor. I think that's what the menu item says. There's a little video on that. There's several free video clips on that page, and one of them is me doing a little fragment of a lecture that I did at a conference quite a few years ago. But the intro to the lecture is what got captured in that video, and it goes over the most common symptoms of geopathic stress, of what kind of body reactions are very common. It also goes over some of the primary causes of geopathic zones. In this case, it was underground water, which is very common, carrying something, some type of energy with it that was affecting me both outside and on a more minor degree inside the house. Other conduits, there could be anything from electrical cabling, or another underground water stream, some kind of little rivulet, branching off this mainstream into the house. Who knows what it is? I didn't need to fix it. This solved the whole problem inside and outside the house. Experiment, if you do have some basic dowsing skills, go see if you can find some underground water streams on your property, under your house. That's a great beginning. So with that, I'll conclude, and I've lost my little remote control. Oh, probably because I wanted to show you one more little thing. Sometimes I'm going to take you out in the front of my house, and I'm going to show you another problem that developed that I discovered just this morning. And I needed a treatment of a stone, a single stone. And I happen to have the stone that would work in my house, but sometimes you don't have that. And so this is just a wonderful book called the National Audubon Society Field Guide to Rocks and Minerals. And I use this a huge amount of the time for isolating what type of stones I might need to handle a noxious energy problem. Many times it's as simple as putting a single little stone in exactly the right spot to eliminate or to harmonize and balance whatever is noxious to the human system. It can be that simple. I've seen it hundreds of times. And a resource guide like this is a way you can douse in a book and find what stone you need. So you can go buy it. You can order the stone online. Sometimes you can just take a photograph of really, really high quality photographs like these from a book like this, and just use the photograph of a stone. You don't even need to go and actually buy the particular physical object. It all depends from situation to situation. So that really is it for now, and I have my little control, so I'll turn off the video. Thanks for watching.